So what are the steps that we discussed in BA? First was analyze enterprise, right? We were analyzing the enterprise. Okay, so we try to understand the pain points or the improvement areas, okay, which BA suggests to the business. Okay, after that,
decision package.
yes. Okay, so as a business, they will decide whether to go ahead with the suggestion or not. Okay, then
Defining the vision and scope.
right. So what happens there?
How they'll implement the things, how they'll analyze the things, how they satisfy the customer.
No. So we're talking
those
about
all the things.
No, we're talking about informing to the entire organization, right? Vision and scope. Correct.
Yeah.
So the entire we inform the entire of course company, and every department, okay, knows how they can contribute to it, isn't it? So it's also about the roles of each department, right? And then
You define, you generate the report or the documentation for vision and scope.
The work that needs to be done, the list of the activities. Okay, the list of the activities. And what else?
Planning requirements.
I didn't get it. What was that?
Planning requirements.
Then you actually create a plan of or to get the requirements, right? And then you execute it. Correct? We execute it. So we actually I'm talking about the steps, not the document, right? So once you do the elicitation, right, that's called elicitation. So once you perform the elicitation, the next step is the documentation step, okay, is a step in itself, right? So we document it and we end up creating what is called as BRD, business requirement document. That's till this point is the main role of BA, okay? And then after that, of course, BA is involved because wherever there is an interaction with customer, it is the BA who's responsible for it, right? So once as a BA you complete the the BRD, then you actually sit with the developer team and make sure that they actually work and deliver according to your requirements. Okay, then tester will test it. Then you engage the customer with UAT, right, or CAT, customer acceptance test or user acceptance test, and then the product will get into the maintenance phase, right? Okay, so any question on what we discussed yesterday? So yesterday we discussed business case development requirement. We'll get into details, okay? So this is just giving introduction. I'm saying that Now we are at phase 2. Okay, phase 1 was day 1 when we spoke about BA at a very high level. Then we are going down to next level where we're talking about the terms. Third level, okay, probably in the next session, we'll start getting into third level where we'll start focusing on details, right? So at least by the definition, you know what is business case development, what is requirements management, what do we do there, UAT, stakeholder management plan, working with QA team, end user training, requirements elicitation, access, solution design. Yes?
Yes,
No?
sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So now moving ahead. Okay, so we have business process design and analysis. The difference between this and the previous one, access solution design, is that here in access solution design, you are only checking. Okay, and making sure that you have come up with meet your requirement. Of course, right, you know, as you work in this field for more time, you will be able to understand the technical aspect. Okay, and then you will be able to verify as well if the technical person has done has understood your requirements basically. So the main goal of BA, as I said, is to understand the business problem and translate into technical requirement, right? So BRT document is something that is between technical and business, and when they create the solution design, that is purely technical. So just making sure that the technical design which is created is on par with what you have put it in the BRD, right? So and then a design, if design is correct, and then of course the rest of the process becomes easy to manage. Okay, so that's the solution access design. Then we talk about business process design and analysis. Okay, so here it is like the process of creating the design. Okay, so this step is more detailed. Okay, so after this only solution design will be created. So you are getting involved at the technical analysis as well. Okay, which is even more, it is done before that design document is created, but it is done with even more what do you call, like, with dedication and the time that is consumed, the meetings that you'll be doing is very intense. Okay, so I was looking for the word intense. It is very much more intense. And of course, responsibility, see, going forward, we'll talk about the roles. Okay, so you have something called as responsibility. Okay, so when you say someone is responsible for an activity, it means that, doesn't mean that person would deliver it. Okay, but it means that the success and the failure will be credited to that person. Okay, so here you are making sure that there will be timeline associated, isn't it? So when you create a plan, there will be a timeline. So you also have to make sure that all the other team members is meeting the plan or the timeline which has been designed before. Okay, so yes, then requirements documentation, you're creating the BRE document, that is called requirement documentation. Whatever you heard from the business people, you are putting it in a format which is understood by the technical people. Okay, so creating a BRE document is the requirements documentation. Process improvement. So see, when you work on a project, okay, so project can be what you call as a greenfield project. A greenfield project means there's no solution as such. Okay, and you are developing from scratch. Okay, so solution doesn't exist. First time they are developing the system. So you are trying to create something which has not been done before, at least in that organization or the solution that you are working. Okay, but that kind of solution, the chances of you working on such a project is probably 10%. Okay, 90% probability is that you will be working with process improvement. That means already a process is there. right? So company will bring a process when they're setting up new, right? That's when they'll bring a process. Once the company is already functional, right, they will have some kind of process and they want to improve the process, right? So 90% of our responsibility or our work will be to improve the existing process. So to improve the existing process, you need to understand what's going on, correct? And what are what we call them crude, okay? That means, is there something new that we have to add? Something is not there, but we have to create, okay? Since it's an improvement, not 100% stuff will be new, right? But definitely since you are changing it, modifying it, there has to be something new. Otherwise, there's no point of doing a project, right? So yes, so there will be something where you have to create some kind of requirements. When you say something, it is requirements, okay? So you'll be creating new requirements. Then you will be modifying or editing the existing requirement. Okay, so some requirements might need editing. So you will be adding some requirements might need editing. Then you might be removing some requirement. Okay, so something which is currently being done is no longer needed in the new system, okay, or the improved system. So you are trying to understand different requirements, which requirements should be kept as it is, okay. Some requirements would be kept as it is in the older method and new method. Some requirements would need editing, okay, is you keep it but not in the same format or not in the same form. Third could be that you are removing some requirements, no longer, it becomes obsolete, you don't need it. And some requirements you'll have to add, okay, new. So all those things we discuss when we talk about process improvement, okay. Finally, it's called KPI modeling, key performance indicator, okay. Now, how do you define success of any project, correct? So when I say that, how do you define the success of this training? Success of this training you will define by the method I told you, right? You look at the job description, okay, note it down, maybe 20-30 job descriptions based on what you want to learn, and you see how much of them you are comfortable now, right? So after 20, let's say, out of 20, let's say, you're comfortable with 5, okay. That means your confidence of knowing business analysis process is 5 out of 20, or 1/5, right? 20%. After training, okay, now you know 16 things out of 20, right? That means you have gone up to 80%. So your knowledge about BE has improved from 20 to 80%. So for every process, okay, there has to be some kind of KPIs. So what Six Sigma says is, if you can't measure it, then you can't improve it, okay? If you can't measure what you learn in the session, then there's no point doing the session, right? So, and it goes with everything, okay? If you are not able to understand, if you're not able to find what you did, right? Simple example, boss will ask you, what did you do today? Or what did you do this month or this week? If you are not able to explain, that means you have not done it. As simple as that. So every process will have some kind of KPIs, key performance indicator, that will decide how well you have done the work, right? So if I'm replacing a paper-based model, okay, there's a paper-based system right now with IT system, let's say. So what could be the KPIs there? Okay, think of any example where there's a paper-based system now. Everything happens in files and paper. Now they've decided to remove files and papers and come up with software. Okay, so how do you can you name 1 or 2 parameters or KPI, key performance indicator, which will be improved? One could be the error rate, right? With paper, your error might be high, okay, but now with system, error rate will have fallen down, right? People are not don't have problem with understanding handwriting, or data missing, team has already given the things in writing, or other team did not find it or is not able to read. Okay, all this will create errors, right? So error, okay, number of errors, okay, or number of errors created per week, that kind of metric would be improved, isn't it? Then time to delivery, right? Paperwork might take 1 month to deliver something, but using computer, probably within a week you will be ready to deliver. So these are KPIs, okay? So as a BA, of course, you need to understand the different KPIs. Okay, you have to understand different KPIs, and when you are performing any job, that's where you will have to tell, or you have to measure the before you perform
Sorry,
the. Yes,
sorry.
yes, tell me.
Your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. Um,
Just before now it's
okay.
good.
Okay, like, yeah, please let me know again if you get that problem. Okay, so I was talking about KPI, right? So before doing any work as a BA, you will have to measure the existing, what do you call, process or existing performance, right? So you say, okay, existing performance is 20%, and then you perform the BA activity, and then again you measure. So it has to be like more than 20, of course, isn't it? 30, 40, 50, 80, right? That's when you know that you have done a good job. So it is always before you perform anything, you measure your performance, okay? And then after your work is done, again you measure the performance. Okay, and after work, after performance measurement has to be better, right? So that's why you call KPI modeling. KPI modeling is important because when you do it's like when I say training is done, then you say, no, I have not learned anything new, right? Then how do I justify that? No, I have taught you something new, right? And it happens. Okay, it happens in business. The business will say, okay, you gave me this software, but this software is not helping me. Okay, the software is not helping me, right? So that's why it is important to measure the company's performance before using or giving the software, and then after giving the software, and you can say that, see, this is the improvement in productivity, improvement in your profit margin. Okay, multiple, there are many, okay, infinite number of KPIs. If you can see, every process will have its own set of KPIs. You can create your own KPIs. Okay, so this is one of the important aspect of BA. Okay, so these are the work that you can expect to perform when you are into the BA role. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Sorry, today I cannot talk much because I have so many kids around me.
okay, sure. Okay.
I came to my cousin's place, so.
Oh, long weekend, something like that. Okay, so tell me, on Saturday, Sunday.
No, we have a housewarming ceremony.
Oh,
so.
nice. So Saturday,
No,
Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday, please. This time, we have. This weekend is not possible for me. Monday early morning we'll reach my home, my place, Phoenix. So
Okay.
Weekend is a housewarming, so I cannot make it.
Okay, so you stay in Phoenix, is it?
If you want to, take a week ahead.
No.
Yeah, I stay in Phoenix, but we came to another state now.
Okay.
So,
okay. So
yes,
no problem. So what I'm saying is, if we are not able to make it, right, let's cancel. We have only 3 of us, right? So of course, like, so let's skip this weekend. Is it okay? So
Ben, forgot your name. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, tell me, Soumya.
yes. So we'll skip this weekend. We'll meet on Monday after
I
today's
want to
session.
take the last week.
I think your voice is breaking, Soumya.
Yeah, Soumya, your voice is breaking today.
Mm.
Okay, so we'll continue today and let's skip this Saturday, Sunday. We'll meet on Monday, same time.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
have okay.
Sure.
So we have seen this,
So
as
can
yeah.
you please send the
I didn't Ram send you the recording?
No, Saurabh.
No,
Okay,
yesterday we didn't got anything.
okay. So let me quickly. I did share the recording with him because
You're
since it's
breaking, Sarah.
wait, wait, wait. Just give me a second. Um, Still coming up. Okay, so I'll share the recording. Okay, before we end today's session, I'll share the recording.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat.
Share, every day.
Yeah. So I did share with him. I don't know, he was not able to share, but okay, I'll share. I'll share every day. Yeah,
Okay.
it does take some time. Okay, to
Okay, no
convert.
problem.
Yeah, but then within couple of hours it should be ready. Okay, so sure. I'll share the last recording and this today's recording also. I'll make sure that you get it. So now we'll take assignment. Okay, we'll try to solve a couple of this problem today, and there will be 4 more. So you can try to solve at least 2 for the weekend. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to talk about, or I'm trying to focus on the business problems. Okay. So as I said, right, it all starts with a problem. And that's when BA will come into action. Okay. So here,
Sarah,
making
Sarah, it's so hard to hear you.
how to do you also face the problem? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Sarah.
Yeah, let me try again. Okay. So aside that, I told you right, for business analyst, everything starts with business problem. So on this slide, okay, do you all use Android phone or iPhone?
I'm using iPhone.
Okay. So my app for iPhone is not yet ready, but I have all these slides. Okay.
Is that I can use in laptop?
No, it's only on Android at the moment. Is it trying to get it ported to
Actually,
iOS?
I used to take the classes in laptop, but only for today I'm taking with the phone
Okay.
because I'm here, right? So I usually I'll take
I'll
my
share these links. Okay, no, because I'm saying that I wanted you to have a slide. Okay, this slide, and if you get
okay.
time over the weekend, you can revise this slide. Okay, so see on this slide there are 6 bullet points, right? So each of these are
Can you
6.
repeat again,
Yes,
Saurabh?
yes. So on this slide you have 6 bullet points, correct? Each of these are 6 different business problems. Okay, so listed here are 6 different business problems. And what I want you to do is I want you both to solve. Okay, and how to solve, I'll do it one, we'll do it two today. Okay, I'll just show you how to approach. Okay, two, and then two you can try at home after the session. Okay, okay.
Saurabh, I'll solve on Monday. I'm sorry to
No
say
problem.
like these excuses.
No problem. No problem. It
Okay,
happens. Okay. No, it happens.
only this weekend. After
Yeah,
that, I don't
so
have
what we
any.
can do is, okay, so what we'll do is we will solve today, and two, when Benedict, right? If I don't have the name. So she can solve it the two over the weekend, and then Monday we'll discuss from her, and then Tuesday
Yeah.
you present it. Okay,
Okay.
you can present it on
Okay.
Tuesday. Okay. Okay. So first, and feel free to make your own assumptions. Okay. So what you see here, okay, the first business problem, right? So can somebody read?
Problems getting orders from customers 24 hours a day.
Correct. So here, if you see, there are a few keywords. Okay, problems. Okay, of course, there is a problem. Okay, and that's why they need BA's help to solve it. Getting orders from customers. So customers are placing order, but you are not getting them. Correct? Customers are placing the order, but you are not getting them. 24 hours a day. Okay. So what this keyword tells you is that sometimes there is no problem. Okay. Only at times there is a problem. Correct? So as I said, right, you feel free to make your own assumptions. Okay. Think of a business. Think of the situation, create your own problem. Okay, so I'll just give an example here. So let's say it's a pizza delivery, pizza outlet. Okay, and they deliver pizza to home. Okay, and suddenly okay, customers are complaining that they placed their order but they didn't get their order. Okay, so they placed their order, but the order was never delivered to them. Of course, you can refund money, all those things, but there's a business loss, reputation loss, right? So it was not happening before, suddenly it started happening, right? So that's the problem statement I'm trying to expand. Okay, I just expanded that it's a pizza delivery or pizza outlet center, and they are not able to deliver or to the customers, right? So customers are complaining that they are not getting the pizza or the order not delivered, even though the amount is deducted and things like that. So they called BA. BA got into the problems. They looked at the complaints, and the BA realized that all these things are happening between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. or let's say 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. All the complaints that has come in is between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Okay. So, okay, they started digging into it. They figured out that order was placed, but the orders never reached the outlet for delivery. Okay. And then again, they figured out that okay, because of the overload. Okay, the system was not.
Saurabh?
Yes, I'm breaking badly.
Saurabh, can you repeat? Because
Okay,
I'm sorry.
no problem, no problem. So you understood the problem here, right? So problem is that the outlet, okay, is getting a lot of complaint that people are placing order, but they are not getting delivered. Okay, the order is not getting delivered. Okay, now you were called. Let's say you were called, and you were asked to investigate the matter. Okay, and when you investigated, you figured out that all these things was happening, okay, around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, all these problems are happening between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Okay, so customers are able to place order, okay, and but the order never reached the outlet so that they could deliver the order. Okay, and when you do more investigation, you figured out that the system, okay, the ordering system, okay, online order system was designed to handle, let's say, only 1,000 customers at any given time. Okay, so your system was designed to handle only 1,000 users at a given time, but you're getting 4,000, 5,000 customers coming in around 7 p.m. So actual problem is that your system has become quite old and it's not able to handle 4,000 concurrent users. So the customers who paid money and they complain, because of that, you know there's a problem. Now, because of which there could be many customers that they could not even place the order, right? So the complaint that you see is just maybe 1/2 or 1/4 of the total problem, right? There are a lot more customers that are coming to your website, but they're not able to place the order, and they're going to place, they place with your competitor. You are losing a lot of business there, right? So now you decide that, okay, we need to improve, we need to, okay, process improvement, right? That's what we discussed. You decided to improve the process so that you're able to handle maybe 8,000 to 10,000 customers at any given point of time. Right? So you understand the current situation, you understand the problem, and you have recommended a solution. Is it clear?
I think first we have to change our software. Yeah.
Correct. But how do you know the software is a problem?
We have to update the systems because in first the business analyst they'll give a steps to do when they discuss with the developer. That time the analyst they'll prepare some steps to do.
Developer is not here. Developer is not here. Okay.
No, yeah, they won't be here, but when they're talking to the middleware and the next level teams, this is what I'm thinking. So they'll prepare something, and the business analyst and the next level team, they'll come to a solution like, we have to change the systems, like we have to tell the developers to change some places to where it's we gave a previous thing, what we say that like program or something, we gave there just for 1,000 or 1,500 customers at a time. So maybe that time we can divide into depends on the zones, like zip codes. They can divide it to some parts, and they can give 2,000 customers at a time. Like that, maybe they can change the system, and maybe that time they can resolve this problem. I don't know.
Correct. So see, but the main problem here is to know the actual problem. See, once you know the actual problem, okay, this is because of the system is not supporting the users, then of course what you said, we can work on that. But how do you identify that there's a problem? You understood? The
Okay, okay.
main thing here is to understand the root cause of the problem. Now, once you understand, okay, this is the root cause, and then you can, it becomes easier to recommend the solution. But how do you know that that is the problem? Correct? See, because if you make some assumptions wrong, okay, and let's say, something else is the problem, okay, not, so but you figured out that there's a problem here, you go and you build a new system, okay, still the problem will be there, right? Building a system is expensive. So you build a system and then again you realize that your problem is still persist, correct? So we were discussing about that. So the ultimate goal is to understand where the problem is, isn't it? And once you know the exact problem, okay, then solution becomes easier. I'm not saying that it's easy, okay, but definitely it is easier to understand. Sorry, it's easier to solve the problem once you know exactly what is the problem, right? So that's what we are trying to do here. Let me share my screen. Let me know you can see my screen. You should be able to see my screen. So that's about the point one. Okay. Number two, we say the problems planning production amounts to satisfy customer demand. Problems, okay. So there's a problem. Okay. What planning production amount to satisfy customer demand. There are two things, okay. Customer demand and production planning. So when you talk about planning production, mostly we talk about manufacturing. Okay, you're manufacturing something and based on customer demand. So let's say, simple one, which is like the pen. Right? So when you talk about pen, yet so as a business, as a manufacturer, you are manufacturing pens. Okay, and there has to be demand from customers, isn't it? If there is no demand from customer, whatever you manufacture, okay, you will not be able to sell. What it says is that we have to balance. We have to make sure that the production planning, the manufacturing of pens, is in line with customer demand. If customer demand decreases, your production should also decrease. If the customer demand increases, your production should also increase. If other way around, okay, so we'll have a lot of pens in the market, but there's no buyer, okay, which is again bad for business. And second thing is there is a demand. People want to buy a product, but the product is not there, right? So either case, not good news. Correct. So we need to make sure that those two are in sync. So how do you make that sync? It's not happening. How do you do that?
decide with the production team and then you see the demands of the customers.
Okay. So see here. So here the problem would come when the manufacturing companies, they are not directly aware of what's happening at the customer end. Generally, manufacturer and buyer or the customer, there are many people, right? You have retailers, the shops where you buy the pen, right? The retailers will have a distributor, then you have state distributor, regional distributor, right? So there are at least 3-4 people in between. Okay, there are at least 3-4 companies or people in between the manufacturer and the customer. So if they depend upon the middle people to give them the information, manufacturer to get the information, the information one will be biased. Okay, because since you're asking from the different players, okay, the distributor might want to keep more, right? They don't want to face stockout situation where they don't have enough, so they'll always ask for more, isn't it? So sales guys, the distributor, they'll always ask for more. If they think that they can sell 10, they'll ask for 15. So there's always that biasness into the system. Okay. So the manufacturer, they may not get the latest information, and also the information will be biased. So what they do is, okay, or what our solution can do is, we can connect the manufacturer directly with the retailer. So you're removing the information, okay, you are directly getting the information from the retailer. So you need a software which can connect, which can sit at the retailer's end and give you the real-time information. So you are getting information at a faster rate, and since it's a system, it's not going to add its biasness. Right? So you're getting correct, unbiased information. So here we are talking about software that can be installed at the customer end, and you as a manufacturer, you get the latest information without going through different channels in between. Right? So what we have done here is, okay, before you start solving this problem, there are 8 steps that you have to keep in mind. The first step is research about the problem. Why? You see, first example was related to restaurant. Second example was related to manufacturer. Okay. Third could be related to something else, healthcare. Right? As a business analyst, you might be required to work on different projects belong to different industry segments, isn't it? So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to make sure that before you actually start speaking or start solving, you understand the problem, you understand the domain, you understand the problem from the customer's end. Okay. So these 2 things I gave you and 4 I left. Okay. So the idea is, first you do simple research. You can simple research can be done using Google. Just use Google search. Try to understand what is inventory holding cost. What does inventory holding cost means? What is supplier discount? Okay. What is the relationship between holding cost and supplier discount? If you have worked in the industry, you will know it. If you have not worked, you may not know it. But that cannot be the excuse of not doing it. Okay. So you will have to ask people. Of course, when you're talking about real project work, you will have subject matter experts. Okay, SMEs, they are the people who would be hired from the industry. Okay, you can go to them and talk about it, get your questions clear. But for now, for doing an assignment, Google search should be good enough. Okay, try to understand the relationship between holding cost and supplier discount, and then you see what could be the problem and what could with the solution. So step one is to understand. Okay, so to understand, you have to research and understand the problem. Second thing which is important is, okay, is before you proceed further. Okay, now you understand the problem. You have to decide that the benefit of solving the problem. Okay, the benefit that you're going to get after you solve the problem is more than the cost involved. Okay, if you talk in terms of pure dollar values, let's say if you're spending $1 as a cost to perform such project, you have to get more than $1. It has to be $2, $3, $4, isn't it? So the benefit, now benefit is not always in terms of dollar. It could be in opportunity market, profitability, customer, customer success rate, many other things, right? So you should know the benefit of doing a project, and the benefit from your perspective, from your company's perspective, has to be more than the cost that is required to do the project. Okay, so benefit of solving the problem outweighs the cost associated. Okay, and when you see that yes, we have a we have a better or more benefit, that's when you go to the third step. Third step is that you get the requirements. Okay, so all these are BA's role. Okay, but if you talk about core responsibility, what's the core responsibility of BA? That is the point number 3. Point number 3 is called as core responsibility of BA, requirements. Okay, defining the requirements, getting the requirement, eliciting the requirements. That's the core work of BA. Okay, everything also is BA work only. Okay, but core, the main work is the requirements. Okay, so you get the requirements from your business, and once you have the requirement, then you always have to look at a set of possible solutions. Always have alternative. Never go with the first solution that comes to your mind. Okay, if not more, at least you should have 2 options, 2 solutions in your mind before you decide which one to follow. Of course, you won't be implementing all the solutions, you will be implementing just one solution. But before you start implementing, you should have a set of solutions. Okay, what it says is minimum 2 solutions you should have it. Okay, and then you decide which among the 2 makes more sense, which is better. Okay, that's the step number 5. Among the given set of solutions, which is better, and you will recommend. Okay, so you will say that okay, these are the 5 solutions we have looked at. These are the problems with each of these, and based on the benefit, these are the benefit of each of the solutions. These are the problems with the solution, and looking at the benefit and the problems, we recommend solution number 3 for this problem. Okay, so you should always analyze more than one solution and then compare and say which one is better and why it is better. Okay, never go by just one solution. Okay, then when you recommend it, okay, and your management has accepted, then you dig deeper and try to get detailed requirements. Okay, once you have the detailed requirements, you will implement the solution. Okay, so implement solution is not our core job. It's not main job. Okay, it is done by the developer team. But I just told you, you have as a business analyst, you are involved. You should know what is happening. Okay, that's called implementing the solution. And finally, you monitor the design solution. Okay, so when you recommend a solution and the development team works on it, implements it, then you have to make sure that you monitor that customer is getting benefit from that solution. Okay, so first step, understand the problem. Second step, make sure that the solution that you are recommending or solution that you're going to work outweighs the cost. If it is yes, then you get into the defining the problem and the solution. Okay, always come up with more than one solution. Okay, compare those different solutions and recommend one solution. And the one solution when it's recommended, which you recommend has been accepted, then you get into the details of the solution, get into detailed requirements. Okay, once you have the detailed requirements, you give the technical team to build it. Once they build it, then you will implement at the customer side. When customer has implemented, then you will monitor to make sure that customers are getting the benefit which you have promised them. Right? It is always going back. Okay. As I said, right, once that training is done, you have to go back and measure your performance against those job descriptions, and you say that yes, I now know almost 95% of the job description. Okay, that's how you define the success of your solution. Right? So these are the 8 steps you can implement to solve any problem for that matter, not just business analyst, any problem. Is it good? Is it okay, everyone?
Yes, Saurabh. It's good.
I just got your blue one. That's okay. Okay, so we'll stop here today. Okay, try to think about solution for this slide. Okay, if you want, you can take a screenshot or of this slide. In case you are not able to get it over the weekend, I'll just make sure that you get this. Okay, at least by your
I'm
time.
just made a note of it, Saurabh.
Perfect, great. Okay, and try to think on the 8 steps that we discussed. Okay, and if possible on Monday, you try to lead the discussion and I'll help you.
Okay, Saurabh.
Perfect. Sure, then enjoy your weekend and we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah,
Right?
thank you so much, Saurabh. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Yeah, happy weekend. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.